The shadow of the past walks beside me at dawn, soft as mist, yet heavy as stone. It knows my name without being told. It hums old songs in a broken tone. I hear its footsteps in silent halls, where memories hang like fading art, each frame a story left half told, each corner hiding a fragile heart. The air still smells of yesterday's rain, of letters burned but not erased, of voices that the wind still keeps, of chances lost we never faced. I pass the street where laughter lived. Now windows stare with empty eyes. Even the walls seem to remember how joy once danced beneath those skies. Time has moved, but not enough to bury what still breathes in me. For every step into tomorrow drags yesterday's ghost silently. The shadow does not shout or cry. It whispers low when nights are deep. It turns my dreams into old films my restless soul is forced to keep. It shows me doors I didn't open, words I swallowed, love I feared, moments small that changed the road on which my lonely steps appeared. I see my younger self still running, chasing suns that burned too fast, never knowing golden hours would harden into the past. There's a bench beneath a dying tree where promises once filled the air. Now leaves fall like unsent prayers, and no one waits for anyone there. The shadow sits beside me then, not cruel, not kind, just true. It lays old photographs between us of who I was, of who I knew. Some faces shine like summer light, some blur like tears in falling rain. Some are wounds that never closed, some are love that turned to pain. I try to rise, to walk ahead, but chains of memory softly bind. Not made of iron, but of feeling, forged in the quiet of the mind. I ask the night, why follow me? Why not fade with passing years? The shadow smiles without a mouth and answers only through my tears. Because the past is not a place, it is a pulse beneath the skin, a second heartbeat made of echoes of where we've lost and where we've been. In crowded rooms I feel it near, a colder space beside my chair. While others speak of present days, I breathe forgotten air. Old melodies return uncalled, with every scent and shade of blue. A single word, a passing face can make the past come rushing through. I've learned the shadow's secret art. It grows in light we fail to see, in love we gave but could not keep, in roads that led away from we. There was a night of silver stars when hope was stronger than my doubt. I thought forever lived in us, how softly forever walked out. There was a morning full of plans, maps drawn on coffee-stained dreams, but life erased those careful lines like rivers rewriting streams. The shadow holds those maps for me, wrinkled, torn, yet clear enough to show the distance from what was to where I stand, worn and tough. It points to scars I almost forgot, thin white lines on hidden skin, each one a story of survival, of battles lost and strength within. I hated it once, this trailing shade, this constant mirror of regret, but running only made it larger. The past is not a thing to outrun yet. So now we walk in silent truce, two travelers tied by time. It shows me pain, but also proof that I have climbed each steep incline. For every tear it makes me taste, it shows a night I still survived. For every dream it says I lost, it proves I once was brave, alive. The shadow of the past, I see, is not just sorrow's faithful friend. It is the ink that wrote my story, the beginning living in the end. When twilight spills its purple hush across the tired fields of day, my shadow stretches long before me, not behind, but leading the way. And in that shape I start to see not only what I failed to be, but all the storms that could not break the quiet, stubborn core of me. So let it walk, this ancient shade, let it whisper what has been. For even pain remembered softly is a sign we dared to feel within. One day its voice will grow more light, its edges blurred by gentle years, and what was once a weight of stone will turn to wisdom shaped by tears. Till then I walk with past and present, two skies above one winding path, knowing every shadow proves somewhere, sometime, there once was light somewhere between the ticking hours. I learned the language of old pain, how silence speaks in softer tones when you stop begging it to explain. The shadow teaches me patience, how to sit with an aching truth, how not every broken promise is a thief that steals your youth. I walk through seasons layered deep, autumn stacked on spring on snow, each one asking who I was, each one shaping who I'll grow. There's a mirror made of memory I try not to face too long. It shows me where I bent too far, where I confused right with strong. Yet even there, beneath regret, I glimpse a fire that stayed awake, a stubborn spark that refused to die no matter how much it had to break. The past knocks softly now, not loud, no longer storms my sleepless nights. It waits until I'm strong enough to hold its truths without a fight. I carry names like quiet prayers, people time pulled out of reach. They live in gestures, laughs, and pauses. In every lesson they still teach. Sometimes joy hurts the most of all, when it returns dressed as before. A familiar smile, a half-known road, a heart remembering more. But even joy from long ago has something gentle left to give. A proof that once, despite the fall, I truly knew how deep to live. The shadow shortens as I move, or maybe I've learned where to stand. So light and dark can share the ground without demanding full command. I am not trapped in yesterday, though it still breathes inside my chest. It is a chapter, not the whole, a voice, not every test. And when tomorrow calls my name with uncertainty in its tone, I step forward, not empty-handed, but carrying all I've known. Because the shadow of the past is not my jail, nor is it blame. It is the map of everywhere I loved. I lost, I changed, I came. So I loosen my grip on vanished days, let memory breathe without a chain. Let it sit beside me like old rain. Fallen, finished, yet still a stain. There are nights the wind turns backward, carrying voices I used to know, calling my name from distant rooms where younger versions used to go. I pause, but I do not follow. I listen, then let echoes fade. For not every door the past reopens is meant for present feet to wade. Still, I thank the roads that broke me, the storms that tore my sky apart. They carved a deeper space within, a wider, more forgiving heart. I thank the tears I tried to hide, the lonely walks beneath streetlight. They taught my soul to sit with dark and not mistake it for the night. The shadow nods, as if it knows I've finally heard what it had to say. That pain remembered with open eyes loses half its power to stay. We walk through fields of used to be, where ghosts of dreams lie in the grass, not buried deep, just laid to rest, blessed for being, then for pass. I do not curse the fallen leaves of friendship's time could not defend. Some souls are seasons, not forever. Their beauty lies in how they end. And love, oh love that did not last, still warms my hands like fading coal. For even if it turned to ash, it once set fire to all my soul. The shadow grows more transparent now, less a weight and more a guide, walking not behind in sorrow, but slightly, gently at my side. I start to see its softer shape, not jagged, dark, or filled with fear, but woven from the threads of days that brought me slowly here. Here, where breathing feels more honest, where I no longer run from me, where past and present share one sky and neither asks to disagree. I sit sometimes with old mistakes, like weathered stones beside a stream, turn them over in the light, see how they polish what they seem. The river of time keeps moving on. It does not pause for grief or pride, but it carries every fallen thing and smooths its edges in the tide. So too, my life keeps shaping me, not in spite of what has been, but through the cracks the past once made where new light now slips in. The shadow smiles in thinner lines, almost part of me, not a part, no longer a figure I drag behind, but the depth within my heart. And if one day it fades from sight, dissolved in age's silver air, I'll know it never truly left. It built the soul that's standing there. For we are layered beings of time, of every joy and every scar, walking proofs that even broken roads can lead us exactly where we are. So come, tomorrow, call me forward, with all your unknown, open sea. I step ahead with steady breath, my shadow walking quietly with me. Not to haunt, but to remember, not to bind, but to remind. Every past I've ever carried helped become this present mind. And in that truth I finally stand, not chased by what has gone before, but shaped and steadied, and made wide by every closed and open door. The shadow of the past remains, but softer now, like evening light, proof that I have lived and lost, and still choose hope, and still choose sight. The years roll on like quiet rivers, winding past the hills of pain. They carve new valleys in my soul, and wash away what won't remain. I meet the morning without flinching, sunlight spills on roads I've known, and though the echoes follow softly, I walk a path that's wholly grown. The shadow sometimes stretches long, reaching into corners of my mind, but now it holds no thread of fear. It simply shows what's left behind. I see the faces of old friends, some still near, some far away. Their laughter lingers like a hymn, a reminder of a brighter day. I see the moments I once wasted, the words I swallowed, the love I froze, yet even in their quiet failure, a tender wisdom slowly grows. I thank the nights I lay awake, the hollow ache of solitude, for in those hours I found myself, a steady heart, a quiet fortitude. And love, though fleeting, leaves a mark, a gentle glow beneath the skin. It tells me even broken hearts can teach the soul to love again. I carry all I was before, each shadow, scar, and fallen tear, but now they do not weigh me down. They are the lanterns guiding here. I meet the wind with open arms, feel its lessons in my hair. It whispers softly of the past, yet leaves me light enough to dare. The shadow of the past still lingers, but not as jailer, not as chain. It walks with me in quiet grace, a teacher born from all my pain. I watch the sun melt into twilight, the sky a canvas bruised and deep, and in that fading, glowing light, I feel the past begin to sleep. It is not gone, it never is, but its edge is gentle, not severe, a soft reminder of my path, a testament that I am here. And so I walk through life unhurried, each step a stitch in time's vast weave, no longer chased by shadows, but carrying all that I believe. For every sorrow that once haunted, every wound that would not close, has shaped a soul that now stands tall, a life that blooms despite its throes. I look ahead, the road unrolled, the horizon wide, the sky immense, and know the shadow is not my foe, but the proof of my existence. The past may whisper, sometimes call, but I have learned to hear it kind, to take its lessons, leave its chains, and let it stay a friend behind. And when my days grow soft with age, and evening wraps the world in peace, I'll smile at all the shadows past, and know my soul has found release. The shadow is no longer dark, no longer grief, no longer chains. It is the echo of a life fully lived, the quiet proof that I remain. The seasons turn with patient hands, snow to blossom, blossom to flame, and in their cycles, I discover I am not trapped. I am not the same. Each spring recalls the laughter lost. Each summer burns with lessons learned. Each autumn drops the weight of grief. Each winter asks for fire returned. I see the roads that once diverged, the forks that tore my heart in two. Yet even in those jagged choices, I found the courage to break through. I meet the eyes of strangers now, and sometimes glimpse a mirrored past, a fleeting look, a gesture shared, a silent link, the shadow cast. The shadow shifts with every breath, a patient companion, never gone. It teaches me the art of holding all the dusk before the dawn. I find old letters in a drawer, edges curled, ink faded to gray, each word a ghost of who I was, each sentence lighting up the way. I read them slow with careful hands and marvel at my own mistakes, yet see the seeds of who I've grown, the tender shoots the hardship makes. Sometimes I wander by the river, where I once dreamed of endless skies. The water whispers of beginnings, reflecting every tear I've cried. I dip my hand into its flow, cold, yet steady, moving on, and feel the past is like the river, always here, yet never gone. I meet my shadow in the mirror, not as a foe, but something known, its edges softened, worn with time, its presence quiet, not alone. It shows me every joy I feared. It shows me every pain I bore, but also every love I kept, every small victory, every door. I see the child I used to be, running down streets I cannot find. I see the dreams I almost lost, now living gently in my mind. And in their eyes, a kind of mercy, a patient, silent, gentle grace, that even though the roads were harsh, I traveled them and held my place. The shadow smiles in thinner lines, its weight now lighter than a sigh. It no longer drags me backward, but teaches me the how and why. For life is layered, full of echoes. Not every loss is truly gone. Some live quietly, shaping later, guiding hands until they're strong. I sit beneath the evening sky, the stars like embers caught in air, and feel the past is not a cage, but a garden tended with care. I hear the voices of the lost, the friends and lovers time took away. Yet in their absence, there is a gift, the courage to face each day. I write their names into my heart, not to cling, but to remember, to honor every love, every loss, every shadow that grew tender. And when the night is fully settled, and dreams stretch long across my bed, I know the shadow rests beside me, a guardian of all I've said. It does not haunt, it does not bind, it simply walks, a quiet flame, illuminating paths I've walked, reminding me of who I became. I take each step with open eyes, not blind to sorrow, not blind to light, for every shadow in the past has taught me how to hold the night. I am no longer fleeing from it, no longer burdened by what was. I carry all my yesterdays and forge tomorrow without pause. The rivers, roads, and letters old, the friends, the loves, the fleeting days, all rise together in a chorus that guides me through the shadowed ways. And even when my hair turns white and quiet claims my evening air, the shadow of the past will linger, not to haunt, but to show I care. Care for every life I touched, every choice that shaped my hand, every tear, every fleeting smile, every dream I could not command. The shadow is not loss. It is life, not sorrow, but remembrance true, a mirror of the soul's long journey, and the proof of all I knew. I walk beneath the turning moon, its silver calm upon my face, and feel the past is finally still, its shadow resting in its place.